Avengers, assemble for the first time! Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews comics new and old, to history, to anecdotes, truly wherever our whims take us. Origins are fascinating to explore. With comics having such a long history, you can end up going very far back and end up in some different eras, with different tropes and different presentation styles. So you get to experience the good, the bad, the fun, the cringe, all of it. Today, we need a special origin to honor an Origins collection. Oh, that's right. What time is it? Sponsor time. I'm pleased to say that I've partnered with Disliz again, this time to tell you about the Marvel Watch pre-sale. They're releasing the watches in batches, and August 25th is the first day to buy, or rather, pre-buy. In the first launch, we have Ant-Man, Black Widow, Thor, and Loki. My faves are Loki because, well, Loki, and also a special shout out to the Ant-Man one because he's shrinking on the band. It's a very nice touch. Now, these are a limited edition collection, so once they're gone forever. So, for example, Loki and Thor, there are 330 pieces, so if you get one, it'll be numbered. You'll know what number you were. If you want to register for the pre-sale to be reminded, I will have the registration link down below. Also a reminder that they currently ship to the US and Mexico only. So international peeps like me, you gotta do the contact the stateside person thing. It is possible, but of course it's easier if you're in the US and Mexico. Now, despite the fact that my shirt has thumb holes and is covering everything, I am wearing Garfield today. I'll also show you a sample of the packaging. This is from the Rugrats collection. It is Chucky. I had Reptar, and Reptar was very cool and all green and the like, but my daughter ate it. Or rather took chunks out of it. And if you're interested in even more comic fun, the founder of the company is having a raffle. He's raffling off some Avengers and Tale of Asgard comics to people who buy any of these 4 watches. So I'll have the link for that down below too. Links for days. With so many origins, it was hard to pick just one to focus on. So I decided that based on the batch of these 4, I was gonna pick the incident where most of them were together in one place, and that was Avengers #1. The OG Avengers. So let's meet the team and see their first adventure together. The Avengers, similar to the Justice League who debuted in 1960 prior, was a combination of prominent heroes running together as a team. Published in 1963, the Avengers, while seemingly quite similar to the League in concept, were not Marvel's first answer to creating a team to match the popularity of the Justice League, who were themselves an update on the Justice Society, but for the Silver Age. No, that team was the Fantastic Four, who also went through some significant changes before they actually saw print. The Avengers, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, hoped to bring all the characters that Marvel was promoting or trying to boost as headliners together, really sell them as heavy hitters because they're on a team. Many of these characters, however, were still settling into their stride, like Thor and Iron Man. Iron Man's still in his golden armor costume. You had Ant-Man the Wasp and the Hulk, whose initial series was cancelled after 6 issues. The Avengers, unlike the League, would have a rotating roster and rotate heavily from the start. Not that people didn't change on the League, but the Avengers would become known for switching out people. It's how you would end up with things like Cap's Kooky Quartet, aka everybody's mean to Cap, especially Hawkeye, the team. But what was the original team's first outing like? Well, strap in, because it's clunky. Oh, so very clunky. But it has moments that will stick with you. The Hulk, hiding in a circus by pretending to be a robot. Get hype. I'm Sasha, by the way. Do the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, assemble. Let's go. Thor, Ant-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, the Avengers. Hello. Hi, cover of issue 1. Where's the Wasp? I mean, she's on the team. She's also on the cover. Just not good enough to be named? Okay, got it. Oh, just wait. Get ready for some of the lines that she's given. Get ready for Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane to look well handled by comparison. That's right, I said what I said. This is a classic cover, seeing them all assembled like that. Pretty cool. Iron Man, so gold. The coming of the Avengers and Loki's Romanesque side profile. Oh good, the Wasp is listed in here inside. Thor looks like he's been caught filming an aerobics video, and I'm here for it. The place. Asgard, the time, the present. Oh sweet, the present, 1963, I can't wait. Loki begins this tale in true Loki fashion by monologuing. Thor got him exiled to the Isle of Silence, which is not living up to its name because he is just talking nonstop. He is griping quite loudly, but they have only imprisoned his body. His mind can roam free. You would think that Odin would have bothered to put something in place to stop that, knowing how powerful Loki is. Not just stick him somewhere where he can still cast his mind out to bother Thor. But I mean, not all of us have Odin's A+ parenting skills. Loki decides that he's gonna mess with Thor so that he can have vengeance. Also, he needs him to come to him because he can't leave. He decides that he doesn't want to defeat Donald Blake. That won't give him the satisfaction. It has to be Thor. But it will take a full menace to get the dull doctor to become the mighty thunder god. Dull? How dare you? Donald Blake's evenings in with a good book are offended. Loki scours the earth until he sees the Hulk and thinks, yes, that's a threat worthy of drawing out Thor. Although there is no evil in his heart, mankind fears him. Yeah, the Hulk has gone through several character and personality personality shifts before he kind of settled, and he still does get changed. Loki decides he's gonna make it look like the Hulk has derailed a train by getting the Hulk to leap onto the tracks by casting the illusion that there is TNT on it. It's very boring on the Isle of Silence. You have to make your own fun. The Hulk almost ruins this plan by fixing the track as best as he possibly can and holding it up so that the train doesn't crash. But Loki knows that they're still gonna blame the Hulk anyway. Now this is one of those plans with layers, but that also relies on everybody acting exactly as they need to. Enter Rick Jones, the Hulk's sidekick and founder of the Teen Brigade. And this issue, his Jack Kirby style eyebrows are out of control. He stands the Hulk and can't believe that he would do such a thing. But if he is guilty, he decides they need big help. So they call Fantastic Four. I'm not sure why they had to draw the entire brigade together for this. Rick could have really done this alone, but I guess if I can't relate to one teen, perhaps I'll relate to an entire brigade. The Fantastic Four will ruin everything. It is Thor I want, no one else. Whoa, 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 save that fanfic rhetoric for later. I must take instant action. So he diverts the radio waves, jams them, and sends them to the radio Donald Blake is listening to. His pipe is blending into his tie and it's tripping me out. This does motivate Blake to transform into Thor. The transition to them being separate people to Donald Blake being aware that he was Thor was awkward but interesting. Maybe one day we should talk about it. I don't know. But Loki was so focused on Thor and making sure that Thor got the transmission that he didn't notice that it also went out to other people. Get ready. Prepare yourself. Classic Ant-Man and the Wasp incoming. Wait for me, Ant-Man. I thought you weren't coming, Jan. I can't see why you have to stop and pat your nose every time we have a mission. Henry Pym, you're beginning to sound like a stuffy old bachelor again. No, that's not what he sounds like. Iron Man also hears this message and is down to get in on this action. The Teen Brigade's faces in this panel will haunt me. They do get through the Fantastic Four, but Reed says they're busy and others are on their way to help. And they all just converge on the Teen Brigade. Wowee, it's Thor! Gee, I'm sure glad we had a whole brigade for this. Henry, did you see that gorgeous Thor? How can I ever make him notice me? Stop acting like a lovesick female and slip behind this lens with me. You know, with dialogue like this, you can see why they ran with that panel miscommunique that would come years later. That miscommunication. I mean, it just kind of feels in line with everything. Loki is concerned. This is more heroes than he anticipated, so he casts an illusion of the Hulk outside, which Thor follows. Impossible, it went right through him. Thor declares that there's only one person who could do a trick like that, Loki, and I'm just gonna take his word for it, and he just goes off to Asgard to deal with him. Alright, good teamwork. Iron Man says it's okay to Rick Jones, they can still go and find the Hulk, him and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now the Hulk is hiding at a circus, performing, and he's hiding not just as a clown, but as a robotic clown. Finding that robot was the greatest thing that ever happened to this show. I have so many questions. How does he pretend to be a robot? If he's pretending that he has a controller, then how does he know what the person is asking him to do? What if they decide to change it up? One of Ant-Man's scouts spots the Hulk, so they decide to head over there, but not before more scintillating comments from Janet about Iron Man. He's hideous. I wish he had gone instead of that dreamy Thor. So bad, I almost wish she wasn't there. It's not that she's thirsty, it's not that. It's just there's an undercurrent to how it's being conveyed, and if there's not, then it's not coming across very well at all. Just hunks everywhere. Can't even function from all the hunks. But what do I know? I've got to go get Thor to notice me. Notice me, senpai. The ants dig a cavern beneath the Hulk and he falls in. The Hulk has no idea what's going on, but he decides he had better leave. At this point, he's fully verbal and the whole angry, monstrous, out of control thing isn't really a factor as of yet. He's just misunderstood and apparently a very credible fake robot. And probably the most accurate thing here that still stands up present day is the fact that the audience is completely into this. They just think it's part of the show. All right, the masquerade is over. I don't care who knows who I am. He wiped off the grease paint. Oh my god, it's the Hulk, panic! Don't let me down, Henry. I wouldn't want him as a permanent playmate. It looks like the Hulk's got the Wasp, but then Iron Man shows up. The Hulk gets away though, even with the nylon net that the ants spread out. Those ants are earning their overtime. And Iron Man takes flight in pursuit, but he was unprepared for the Hulk's leaping, and so the Hulk ends up behind him and is able to damage his battery, which temporarily stops his pursuit. But he says that he only wants to help. Why can't they talk? You always make people fall down caverns that ants made when you want to talk to them. I mean, in all fairness, there was no plan. On panel, these people haven't even really spoken to each other. Thor is in Asgard asking to go to the Isle of Silence.
Though you be the son of my heart, Loki too is my son. I could not interfere with what transpires between you.
In other words, let them fight. Owen is bringing the popcorn and he's placing bets. He's taking them too. Stopping his sons from fighting each other. What do people think he is? Some kind of parent or something? So Thor must make his way to the Isle past all the traps Loki has set. It gets very fantasy for this section. It's pretty cool. Gas globules from volcanoes, roots trying to get him. Cool stuff. So basically all of this was so that Loki could fight / hang out with his brother, because fighting is how they hang out. This fight has no editor's notes, but Loki and Thor just keep saying, remember, my hammer can do this. this, or have you forgotten that I can do that? Now, if you're like me, you may have been wondering, why is this the Isle of Silence? Everybody is talking non-stop. Well, it's because it's named for the silent ones, who are the trolls that live underneath the island. The natural enemies of the gods, the trolls. You have been away from Asgard so long that you might have forgotten, Thor. Everybody forgot everything. That's what this fight has taught me. Nobody remembers anything. So Loki promised Thor the trolls because he's a jerk like that, and no god can break the grip of a troll. But did Loki forget Thor's hammer can summon lightning? I swung my hammer right through you. Not through me, fool. Through a mental image of me. Remember, Loki can match you trick for trick and then some. No third person Loki. Also, I really hope he remembers, because it's that same trick that made him realize that it was you behind it. Earlier, with the Hulk. I remember. I'm not the person forgetting. They fight some more before Thor grabs Loki and says he's bringing him to Earth so he can meet other powerful people. Iron Man is still chasing the Hulk. His battery's back. They end up fighting in a factory, and I think my favorite panel is the Hulk slingshotting a piece of machinery at Iron Man. Stop. You two have no reason to fight. But Loki isn't just gonna stand there and be taken to task by these two for the trouble he caused, so he makes himself radioactive. But he wasn't prepared for ants. Ant-Man, you did it. Yes, Wasp. It all depended on Loki carelessly standing in the right place. And he did. Even Loki can't escape from a lead-lined tank. He did all of this, can cast all these illusions and the like, but a tank lined with lead, that's his downfall. Then they just decide, hey, wanna be a team?
Work as a team? Why not? I'm for it.
How it started, how it's going.
In fact, why don't we disband while we have the chance?
The Hulk says that he'll join too, but they need a name. And the Wasp redeems herself, or rather, she's written like a person for a minute. It should be something colorful and dramatic, like the Avengers. Ant-Man says that he thinks that's great, and Tony utters my favorite line, which is saying something, because this issue had some gems.
We'll fight together, or separately if need be.
Don't let him plan the meetings. We'll meet at the coffee shop, or my house, or not at all if need be.
We'll never be beaten, for we are the Avengers.
Well, we all know how that went. The end blurb is about how this is the birth of one of the greatest superhero teams of all time. And you know what? That turned out to be true. This story is a chaotic mess, but it's a very fun read, although sometimes for the wrong reasons. It's more of a showcase for why each of these characters is cool individually and why you should go back and read their books than for why they work together as a team, which is perfectly demonstrated by the fact that it's just kind of thrown together at the end, like, oh yeah, want to be a group? You don't feel a connection or bond between them, and they fight a lot through all the iterations. That's a really common trend. I mean, this issue, Thor leaves and has what feels like a completely separate adventure. It's a cool adventure, but it makes it feel like a bunch of vignettes stuck together. Loki was a petty joy as always. I will forever ponder the existence of the Teen Brigade, while simultaneously being able to understand the reasoning behind it perfectly. Greetings, fellow kids. Early Wasp physically hurts sometimes, and the Hulk takes a while to hit his stride, or at least get a consistent characterization. Cap would be defrosted in issue 4, and the Hulk quits by issue 2. And then we would get into that shifting roster that would mark this book. By issue 16, we're yeeting most of the old members and adding the new ones. The Avengers have a really different vibe than the Justice League. Sometimes people just try and equivocate the two, but that's a very surface level comparison. This comic is classic, it's fun, it's a mess. It has a lot of cool funny moments, so I guess it's a hot mess. The Hulk pretending to be a clown robot. I can't wait to get my Loki watch so that I can channel that kind of chaotic madness into my videos. Be gone, pigeons! Tell me how you think the Hulk was passing as a robot. Share your favorite Avengers moment, check out Disliz, talk to me down below. While you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking this pioneer day to spend discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.